Hello, welcome back guys to another video of the stock stage. Today we're going to talk about TDOC, right? And this video is going to be for my longer term investors as well as my TDOC investors and holders. And if you're a TDOC trader, right, you could look at this video to gain some insights as well, because today I'm just going to explore the technical chart of TDOC purely on a technical standpoint basis, all right? Because this is again a very excellent thing to separate, the fundamentals from technicals, all right? And as well as looking at technicals to determine a decent entry points for your dollar cost averaging, right? When to go really heavy, all right, and when you're unsure, all right, dollar cost average at certain areas, all right, with smaller amounts. Okay, so we all know that dollar cost averaging has its own benefits, right? Because dollar cost averaging allows you to take the emotions, they say, right, out of the equation, right? So dollar cost average at the certain amounts every single time. This works if you again have a bigger portfolio, and two, you have a constant stable income that will allow you to generate income every single month to buy the dip, right, or to dollar cost average. But if you are someone who has only a lump sum, right, you have to be very picky about some of the entry points that you want to make, right? And you could in a sense potentially accumulate more shares, right, of the company that you want at great prices, right? So let's take a look at the technical charts altogether. We know TDOC's already a great company, all right? I've been super invested in the long-term fundamentals, and there's going to be another video coming up on the fundamentals of TDOC. I'm going to explore more on that. So drop a comment down in the sections below if you want more content on that as well. So I'll do my best to cater to you guys. So again, we are looking at this. I would like to always see technical charts from the 1 week standpoint of view, because I'm a swing trader, all right? Unless you're a day trader, then you look at the 1 day, then the lower time frame, which is the 4 hour, 1 hour, minutes, and so forth. But for the weekly standpoint of view, right, this is the chart of TDOC, right? Let's zoom into this chart over here. Massive 2 red candle determines the entire shift of the entire stock itself, right? So it was on a bullish uptrend, massive bullishness, bam, bam, end of the bullish uptrend. Here we know that this is the end, and now we are looking for whether this is a fake out at this area. So I'm telling my thought process about how am I reading this chart at every single point in time. Remember, the chart is made up of human emotions as well as things that have happened, right? The buyers and the sellers, the bulls and the bears are constantly fighting a war, if you would say so, right? Who are actually retreating, who are actually advancing, right? So from here, the bears are actually 2 good ones, all right? And we have to see whether it is a fake out by the bulls, all right? Are they coming back in to quickly overturn the tide and continue the uptrend? No. So you can see one very small candle, that is green candle, that is not overshadowing this, continues the downtrend. So here comes the interesting part, right? Here we can see that, there's an equal amount of, red and green candles. The size are almost the same. I feel size is a very, very important thing when you look at technical charts, because you can see whether the strength, who is holding back, whether everyone's being conservative. So again, at this level, right, at this level, okay, look at this, at this level of $139, it's actually a very unsure point of people whether to think that, hey, this will go to the upside or the downside. And you can see that many very small candles squeezing very tightly over here, right? It broke down, faked out, all right, and this was due to the earnings call. So this, you have to look a little bit about the fundamentals as well. This was the earnings call, if I'm not wrong. Then after that, it went to the downside after that. Okay, let me just click this away. Let's see if it is the earnings call. I think it's the earnings call over here. All right, so earnings call was over here, came up, then the massive sell-off due to the fundamental news of the war and whatnot, and it came down all the way here, down to the downside over here. So longer term trend, you can see that I was expecting it to bounce somewhere here. All right, somewhere here. All right, and now there's a massive fake out, right? You can see there's a massive green candle over here, one that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. You can see small green candles, it's very weak. Finally stepped in. But does that mean that this is the change of the trend? No, definitely not, right? We have to really see the lower time frame itself, which is the 1 day time frame, right? 1 day time frame, you can see this is just barely making through the moving average over here. Let's take a look here, right? It's barely breaking through the 20 moving average, right? And all the times it's tested the 20 moving average, it just died. Only once popped up, then it died again. So again, when it looks to this index coming down, all right, I want to see a consolidation above this moving average itself, and stay above it, right? And for this entire pattern to slow down, all right? And there's a very high chance that it might continue its downtrend all the way to the downside if the sell-off is massive again. All right, so again, this kind of thing is very interesting because as they say, right, you know, cheap can get cheaper, right? So in the short term, right, markets can remain insolvent longer than you can remain rational, right? And that's the characteristics of a bear market, right? How it shakes people out crazily, right? How it just shakes people out insanely. It just keeps shaking, right? So it's a spike downwards that really wipes people, all of these people around here out. Those are the ones that get wiped out because they are using leverage, or you know, they have no conviction in the company. These are the ones who really get shaken out really hard, right? Okay, so this you have to really take note of this, right? It could get cheaper and cheaper. So again, I'll add massively when it starts to consolidate and shows a lot of strength, right? At a certain point area, I will really dollar cost average the rest of my position size into that. Otherwise, I'm going to add in slowly, bit by bit. Okay, so what have my moves been, right? So again, when it came down here, right, down to this support level, okay, at this point over here where I said that there's a lot of consolidation, this was at $90 plus dollars. I averaged a little bit, all right. I averaged also massively at this point as well when the earnings call came up, and I felt that there was a change in trend. You can see this change in trend. I thought there was a change in trend, and I proceeded to buy 100 more shares at this area, only to know that, hey, it goes down again. All right, so again, I have conviction to hold down this downturn because I know, and I did my fundamental analysis on this company. But if it was a trade, I would definitely have stopped myself out over here, right? So downtrend itself, I added more here because there was a consolidation over here to pop it back up a little bit more. Okay, here I added a little bit more. So again, every time it goes up above the 20 moving average, I'm enticed to add a little bit more. And my little bit more is like 10% of my entire position size that I want to allocate to TDOC, right? And if this time it goes up and holds above this moving average, that's where I'll add the rest of my shares in, massive amounts of my shares in, all right? The rest of my income and everything is going to TDOC, right, to dollar cost average on the highest conviction pick, which is this is one of them. All right, so this again is up to your own investment strategy, but this is one of the strategies that I use myself to generate, you know, and to determine some entry points so that I can get myself better shares for cheap. All right, and that's always a great thing, you know. If I love the company at 150, I really loved it at 150. The price to sales ratio was decent at 7. Now the price to sales ratio is like 3 or 4, which is ridiculous for a high growth company. Dude, I'm buying more shares, right? It's going to be better and better, right? So cyclical companies, right, after the bear market and everything, okay, they will come back. It always does, all right. You can look at a lot of other companies as well, that it is always a cyclical move, right? And a cyclical company, the thing about them is it can, during a downturn, it can lose up to 90% of their entire investment, like the entire investment. It can go up to that. All right, but eventually it come back up to 90%. And it's always this kind of things that wipes people out, right? You can check out many of the charts. Okay, I'm pretty sure a lot of you hold high growth cyclical companies, right? Don't know what cyclical company is, go and check out, go and Google what's that. All right, you can see the charts of the fire chart, right? It's always like a up, down. But people who held through the downturn and even dollar cost average during the downturn, assuming that's a good company, will always make money, way more money on the way up. And the time horizon for that's why it's around 5 years, 6 years, and that's why we are called long-term investors. We're not traders for this one. All right, so stay true to your conviction. All right, if you feel like there's no conviction in that company, all right, do more research, right, and you feel like there's a bad investment, cut the trash, right, cut the trash, find the investment spouse, all right, so that you will be tight there, and as well as, you know, you have conviction in what you're holding, so you can sleep at night. All right, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Smash the thumbs up button, and I'll see you again in the next video, everyone. Stock is stayed out.